Simi Valley is planning on banning people who are on the sex offender registry from passing out candy during Halloween or putting up any decorations at their homes during Halloween. And they also have to have some sort of sign in front of on their front door that indicates that they are not allowed to pass out candy.
No candy at this house, it has to say.
Yeah, exactly. So 5 people who are on the sex offender registry have actually hired a lawyer, and they're suing because they feel that this is a violation of their First Amendment right.
It is.
So that's interesting. I'm a lot more split on it. I was going to go Supreme Court on this one because, look, it seems like a malicious law to pass, but at the same time, you've got people who are on the sex offender registry complaining that they can't decorate their house on Halloween. If I'm on that list, I think I'm going to get past that one. I've got bigger issues.
Sure, totally. I mean, I wouldn't sue. I'm not with the people who are suing. Like, you might call to somebody's attention because it's a ridiculous story, but the way you make it call attention to it is you sue. That's how it works in this country.
Right.
Right or wrong. So I eventually I give them a pass. There are no, on the sex offender registry list in Simi Valley, no one is accused of molesting children. These are people who molested. These are people who committed sex crimes against grown-ups.
No, that's not true.
I believe it is true.
No, I went on the Simi Valley Sex Offender Registry, and there are about 67 that are serious. And the serious crimes, sex crimes, list exactly what they've done. And a vast majority of them include guys who have either molested or raped people under the age of 14.
Okay, well, but all right, so none involve crimes involving children on Halloween. It's like not a thing.
On Halloween, that's what it was.
So it's not a thing that has happened. It's not. It's not a.
Right. Now, and the other reason that they're going to sue is because of the sign, which is much more offensive than not being able to decorate your house, because the sign says, basically. It doesn't say it's a sex offender in the house, but it says you cannot come and get candy here, etc. It makes it fairly obvious as to what's going on. And they've got families. They've got wives. The wives are also suing. Some of them have kids. So it also taints the wives and the kids, which then made me think, I don't know. But the flip side is, you're really going to argue against it? I mean, some of these guys have,
I'm going to argue against the sex offender registry list as a general rule. You serve your time, you're out. The case is fucking over.
Yeah,
that's how we work in this country, and I know we're panicked about this, and I get it, but so we get to be panicked about it. And should people who commit sex crimes against children spend longer in prison? No, I'm not going to argue against that. I don't think anybody's going to argue against that. But the registry is this heavy-handed government intrusion. I mean, every libertarian who calls himself a libertarian, every Tea Party member should be fairly outraged by this kind of thing. I mean, this is government sort of making you wear a cross, and frequently without any discretion to what type of crime you committed.
Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to talk about a little more, because I feel like, the details of this might change your mind, Cenk, because although there are people on that sex offender registry who have, been found, they've been convicted of doing horrible things to minors, there are people who are on that list for indecent exposure. Yeah. Right, and I have a problem with that, because if you got caught with indecent exposure and you have to put that stupid sign on your front door and you can't celebrate Halloween, that's ridiculous.
Like, indecent exposure could be you got drunk one night and you were peeing on the side of the road.
Exactly.
It could be Fred Willard doing whatever he was doing in a movie theater that nobody gives a damn about.
Fred Willard did not commit a sex crime. Whatever he did or didn't do, he didn't commit a sex crime.
Yeah, and so look, I hear you on that. And look, the sex offender list, if it was just the hardcore, sexual assault against kids, etc., we'd be having a different conversation. But they, of course, the government being what it is, they expanded and they expanded and they expanded. So then you guys are right, and I'm with you. Now, my problem is that they go a little too far. They say, like, oh, this is like putting the Star of David on Jews and stuff. No, but Jews didn't do anything.
Yeah,
you did something. Now, again, if it was the right guys, then I have a slightly different issue.
Then fine. Then you got to put a sign if you were convicted of assault. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Or murder.
You punch a kid in the face. Why? I mean, what are we doing here? It's because we're so paranoid about sex. These are horrible crimes. It's ridiculous that I even have to say that. We're all in agreement on how hideous sex crimes against children are, against anybody. But the fact is, we're drawing a distinction about this type of crime, as opposed to crimes that might, in some cases, be worse than that type of crime.
It's really strange how, in society, we go to opposite extremes. On one extreme, you have the Jerry Sandusky case, where people know what's going on, but they brush it under the rug, and no one talks about it, right?
He can't celebrate Halloween. I'm for that.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you have the sex offender registry that includes people who have done indecent exposure.
No, Ben ended it. You won me over because look, somebody murders someone, or they can murder 17 people. I don't know, for whatever reason they can get out, right? And then they don't have to put any damn sign. And they could lure kids in during Halloween and be like, okay, here's your trick. I'm going to murder you too.
I'm gonna murder
right?
you, but I won't commit a sex crime against you.
Right, but a dude who did indecent exposure because he took a leak one night when he got really drunk and the cops were nearby has to put a sign on his door. So the fact that the sex offender registry list is too broad ends the conversation. I think it's clear. But even more than that, you're right. As a society, it's important for us